All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the new quarter of our social marketing class. So this is a really awesome class that we got to teach last quarter, and we saw a lot of improvement in our teams and how they were sharing, how they felt authentic sharing. It didn't feel like they were trying to be sales or anything, but it allowed them to be authentic in their sharing, feel like they were being real to their audience. And we saw actually a lot of increase in being able to help people get started on their health journeys. So I'm really excited to see what we can do this month with adding on new people. If you aren't muted, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and just muting so that we can make sure we don't have any background noise. And then if you have a question, feel free to go ahead. You can use the little hand raise emoji. Or you can just go ahead and unmute and ask a question, but we will have a time for some Q&A towards the end. So first of all, I just want to say that this is something that we are going to be starting with the very, very, very basics. Okay, so we're going to be starting as if you are brand new to Facebook and you have no idea how to do anything on it. Okay, so we're going to be starting very basic, but I will say there are going to be some nuggets in the basics that you may not even understand, that you may not even realize are things that you need to tweak or change in how you're doing things now. You may have to unlearn some systems that you've learned while you were learning how to use Facebook or Instagram. But then we're going to be taking those basics and we're going to be building on them. And then towards the end, you're going to see stories and reels and things like that and learn how to do those things effectively. So I say all that to say, if you have not, if you've not mastered a certain week, and I don't even say mastered, that's not even what I'm trying to say, but if you haven't grasped the 1 week and you haven't fixed things there yet, stay with that before, I mean, still listen in and still be a part of the classes and everything, but don't try to go from like, I don't know how to use Facebook and I haven't done any of this other stuff, but now I'm going to try and do reels. Like, don't try and do that. Make sure that you guys are actually learning the basics and building off of those. Okay. This is not, all of this is going to be recorded so that you'll be able to go back and watch and listen. So this isn't to stress anybody out and make you feel like we're running faster than you can keep up. This is just a way for you to be able to learn the fundamentals and learn how to build off of those fundamentals and why we do things the way that we do, why we share the way that we share, so that you can be able to share effectively and authentically and actually be able to expand your network and get more engagement on your social media. So this is really going to help you monetize your social media. I know most of us are really trying to build teams and hit new ranks and hit new goals. So this is going to be really good for you to implement this quarter. So this is going to be an 8-week class. There will be some weeks that we won't be meeting, and I'm going to drop the schedule in there so that you guys can see all of that, so that you guys know ahead of time when we're meeting for social media or social marketing class and when we're going to be taking that off. So I'll drop that schedule into our team group later. But like I said, everything's going to be recorded and it'll be on my YouTube channel. So you feel free to check those out or send them along if you feel like it would help anybody. If you have new people that are going to be joining the class, I really don't want to add anyone beyond next week. So if somebody couldn't make it this week, but they can commit to from here on out, go ahead and send them the recording. And then once they've watched this recording, then go ahead and add them to the group so that they can start listening in from here on out. The point is, I don't want people to come in, week 5 and now they're trying to catch up. We're going to be doing this every quarter. So this is a good way for them to be able to, if, like I said, if in the next week they decide they want to commit, that's fine. You can send them this recording and then they can jump in. But otherwise, we'll just go ahead and have our newer people wait for the next quarter, okay? Because we can always teach people how to share. We can always teach people how to do what they need to do to basically hit their warm market in that first little bit without this class. This class is really just to expand on what you already know and what you've already been doing. The other thing I want you to keep in mind is social marketing is very important when it comes to your business, but what's more important is your daily IPA, okay? So do not let you overhauling your Facebook or your Instagram take the time that you have to do your daily IPA. Your daily IPA is posting every day, making sure that you're doing Plexus and personal, okay? And you're reaching out to new people and following up with people, and make sure that you're checking in with your team as well and keeping everybody happy on their products, okay? So again, this is a tool. This is not the end all be all. This is not a hard and fast rule. This is not something that overhauling your Facebook and your Instagram is what's gonna shoot you up and make you millions of dollars. These are just ways that you can build and expand on your business that you already are working on, okay? So with that, we're going to start with the 5 different platforms that we're going to be focusing on this quarter, okay? There are lots of different platforms. There's TikTok, there's Snapchat, there's, Pinterest even that people are using. We're not going to be focusing on those as much, really at all, honestly, because most of the business that we've been doing, that we've been successful with our teams, we have diamonds above us that are doing really awesome work on the 2 platforms of Facebook and Instagram. Okay, so that's where we're really going to be focusing on. Now, I said 5 because there's 5 different avenues that we can use those 2 different platforms. So one is Facebook, another is Facebook Stories, one is Instagram Stories, and Messenger. Those are going to be the 5 things that you're going to want to be active in. Okay. Please feel free to start getting active in all of those now. You don't have to wait till we cover stories for you to start using stories. You can start using them now and exploring and playing with them now. And then you can just add and build onto that as you learn more about that. So we're going to be covering Facebook Stories, Instagram Stories, and Messenger. Those are the 5 ways that I make the most money in my business, is through those 5 things. If you are, very specifically, Facebook Stories, and Messenger. Okay, those are the things that you're definitely going to need to be successful in this. You can do it just off Instagram. There are people doing that, but Facebook has a lot of capabilities for us to have groups and events and different things that you can do with Facebook that you can do it with Instagram, but it's a little bit more tricky. So first of all, when you are when you're doing social marketing, when you're in this industry, social marketing is just exactly what it is. You are marketing on social media. Okay, social media really is the way of the future. Amazon is getting people to sell on social media. Walmart's getting people to sell on social media. You guys, if you watch influencers, they are actually sharing. Walmart, Amazon, JCPenney, like all these big box stores are getting influencers to market for them. So actually what's crazy is people that are corporate are actually using network marketing for selling. Network marketing really is the way that this world is going. So you guys are in a beautiful industry. You guys are in an industry that's only running forward. You guys are in an industry that is far from dying. In fact, it's just now getting going, and it is where everything is going. So the fact that you're building a business on social media is going to be something that you're really going to be able to grow massively in. Okay, when COVID hit in 2020, we actually were able to grow in a big way, because guess what? We weren't being shut down. The internet was not being shut down. We all know that. The internet was actually growing in our businesses when everybody was going through a season of getting laid off and their businesses were getting shut down. Our businesses were growing in a huge way. So it was just really cool to watch how we hear that social media is the way of the world, and we really got to witness that in 2020. So you guys are in a beautiful industry. So with that being said, we don't have brick and mortar, right? We don't have brick and mortar stores. So your social media is your storefront, okay? So what you need to be doing from here on out is imagining your social media as if it is your storefront, okay? It needs to be clean, all right? So picture that you're going up to a brick and mortar and think about things that draw you into a brick and mortar store. What's gonna draw you in, okay? I'm drawn in if they're clean. I'm drawn in if their aesthetics are very pretty, right? If they're using color palettes and beautiful images that really want me to go into that store. I'm going in there if they are, let's see, one second, sorry, just want to there we go. I'm going in there if they are friendly. If there's a ton of people in there, I want to go in there, okay? I want to see what's going on. So these are things that are really going to draw you into a store. So keep that in mind when you guys are posting on Facebook, when you're posting on Instagram, any of those things. This is your storefront. This is what you're drawing people into, okay? So keep keep it clean. All right. And by the keeping it clean, I mean, let's not be posting a bunch of stuff, just sharing whatever we see. Okay. Just because you see something and you kind of chuckled at it for a second does not mean it has to be shared. Okay. I'm just like, it's okay to giggle at something and you can put that in your stories, but your actual Facebook, by the way, we're going to be starting on Facebook. I didn't mention that. We're going to be starting with just talking about Facebook. We'll move over into stories and Instagram and everything else. But for right now, we're strictly talking about Facebook. So make sure it's clean, okay? Make sure that when people go to your page, it looks like it's consistent, okay? It's not just throwing a bunch of stuff up all over the place and just throwing up like whatever I mean, I might have, if I have a storefront and I have a picture and it's a beautiful picture, it doesn't mean it has to go into my store. It means I can think this is a beautiful picture for somebody else, but if it doesn't match what I'm trying to do in my store, I'm not going to put it up, right? So just because you giggled at it or just because you love it, it's okay. Just love it and move on. We don't have to share everything. Okay, so keep it clean. You don't want a store with a bunch of graffiti all over it. So think of like messy, chaotic Facebook posts as like just being graffiti. You don't want that. Don't cheapen your products, okay? If I am going by a store and I've used, I don't know if I should be saying their name out loud probably, but a very popular bath and body store that constantly has buy 3, get 3 free or whatever going on. After a while, I ain't paying full price for any of their products. Ever. I'm never paying full price for the products. And honestly, their products have lost a lot of value to me because the number that they have on that product, I know it's not worth that because I know that they're constantly running sales, giving away free things, doing like all they're constantly doing is talking about the price, right? If all they're doing is constantly talking about the price and talking about their sale, to me, it cheapens the product. They're not adding any value into like why I need to use their product, why their product is above anything else, why their product has value. If all you're talking about is sales and discounts, that's not going to help your business. That's just going to cheapen your products. Okay. So be adding value and make sure that you're sharing authentically about the products more than you are the price or the discounts. I get that at the end of the month, we're excited and there's big sales going on. That's okay. Again, like I said, this isn't hard and fast rules all the time. You'll see me post about sales at the end of the month. Like, this is what's going on. Y'all get in on this because it's ending soon. But as a general rule, I'm not posting sales and discounts, not posting prices. I'm not doing any of that. Okay. I want people to know the value of my product before we start talking about prices, because once people know the value of what you're selling and they know the value of your product, they'll be willing to pay what they make priority. And if they realize it's something they need to make priority because it's going to add a lot of value, they'll pay the price for it. Okay. I promise. Make sure that you're adding value to your community. Okay. So one thing that you're going to hear us talk about a lot is adding value. Okay. If you have something and you know 10% more about anything than your audience, you have something to add. Okay. For me, I'm going to be talking about gardening. Okay. I'm not really, I'm just saying this is what my example. I'm going to be talking about gardening from here on out. Now, I am not a gardener, and Lord knows I have killed more plants than I even cared to imagine. However, I've been growing some herbs in my garden in the past couple of years, and I've learned a lot about it. And I've learned how to trim them back. I've just kind of learned some of those things. Now, there are people that know way more about this than me, but it's an area that I can add value because there's people who want to have herbs in their garden, but they don't know where to start. Guess what? I can kind of help and show them how easy it is. And I can be sharing that. That's adding value to my community. Okay. I have not taken culinary classes at all, but guess what? I have some good recipes that I can really nail out of the park. And I want to share those with my audience. That's adding value. That's adding value to them. Okay. Find ways to add value to your community. If you are into theology and ministry and you really love sharing scriptures and you really inspire and add value in that way, there you go. That adds value. If you are somebody who is interested in hair and makeup, that adds value. It does not have to be based around your product. And in fact, I would challenge you that it's not. Okay. Try to have it not be around your product. You want to add value in a way that really gets people to lean in and see what you have to offer without it being constantly product driven. Okay, so add value to your community. If you go into a storefront and they're constantly giving back to the community and they're adding things to their community, and they're, you know, you constantly see them giving to charities or raffles that's going on in the community, they're part of the, you know, city fundraiser to help. I mean, you're going to want to be a part of that community, right? Because they're adding value. So add value to your community and your audience outside of just your products and what you're selling. The last thing is, don't allow graffiti. Okay, we've talked about the graffiti and you not posting it. Don't allow it. Okay, so when people are constantly tagging you in, just escape the mental hospital, tag the first 10 people that come to blah blah blah, and who's the one that's sitting in the corner, you know, whatever. Like, I've seen a lot of people share those things like that. I'm gonna tell you what, people tag me in that and I remove that from my timeline because I don't need that making, that's graffiti to me. That's graffiti on my wall. If people tag me in a huge thing that they're doing, and I don't know, like people are tagging me in, here's a 10 days of this and this, blah, 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 and I'm tagging 10 people to do this with me for 10 days. I'm removing that from my timeline. Not necessarily untagging myself because I don't want them to think that I'm just heartless and not a part of what they're doing, but I'm just removing it from my timeline or removing from my newsfeed. You can go in or remove from your profile. I forget, they've changed the wording of it every week, I swear. So you can go in and you can just remove that from your timeline. That way, when people come to your page, they just see clean, they see aesthetically pleasing, and they see what you have to offer, and they see the value that you're adding without it being cluttered with a whole bunch of different stuff. If people tag me in something fun I did over the weekend, I'm gonna keep that on there. Like, that's fun. It's a great picture of me and it shows what I'm doing and it makes people part of what I'm doing and keeps my journey authentic, but I'm just not gonna have a whole bunch of other graffiti going on, okay? All right, and then the next thing I want to cover, we're going to go through bio. Kristen's going to walk us through what it looks like to have a clean bio. And then we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts of social media after that. So Kristen, you want to go ahead and talk about bio?
Sure. Okay, so for those who don't know me, I'm Kristen. I am a Ruby ambassador, and I think I see a few new names, so just wanting to introduce myself. So yes, the bio part for social media, because that is going to be the thing that people see first when they see your page. So you only have a couple seconds. People's and these days, because of the way that this world is so fast paced, our attention span is very, very short. So you have a couple seconds to catch people's attention. So what you want to do is just make sure you are capturing kind of who you are and what you represent as quickly and as authentically as possible, using what they've given us to basically represent ourselves. So the very first thing would be your profile picture. Make sure that you're using a profile picture that clearly shows like your face. It can be one of you and your family if you prefer, or your spouse. But I would just say, make sure it's a clear picture and that you are definitely in that picture. We have a couple situations people like to put like their favorite sports team or, you know, something else that's like a logo in their profile picture. And unfortunately, that just is not memorable to who you are. People are getting to know you by seeing your face. So you want to make sure your face is in that picture. And that it is clear, like it's not a blurry picture. You don't have to be a professional photographer and have the perfect picture ever, but you do want to make sure that it is a clear picture and it clearly shows who you are. You know, like I said, you can include your family if you prefer. Thing, a part of your bio is going to be your cover photo. So in this, I like to do something that's going to show another aspect of who I am. So for me, you know, in my profile picture, I have me and my husband, and then my cover is our four children. So people can come to my page and quickly see, oh, she's married, she has 4 kids, she's a mom and a wife, right? That's going to be the very first thing they see just from the pictures alone. And then the third part of your bio is going to be that little section underneath your profile picture that Facebook gives you, that kind of just, you get a couple lines to say who you are and what you're about. So you get to play with this. This is where you get to see a little bit of your personality. I would suggest doing something that, you know, says more about yourself. You can go, do you want me to show Natalie some examples by sharing my screen, or do you want to just talk about them?
If you have them readily available, otherwise we can show them down the road.
Okay. I mean, I can quickly go to them.
Okay.
It's up to you.
But
I was going to go to, like, Natalie has a really good example. You probably have all seen her page. For instance, so in her bio, she has Jesus lover, girl mom, foodie, boss mom, glam girl, Enneagram 7. So we get to know a lot about Natalie very quickly. We see that she's a Christian, right? And her very first thing, that's something that she values first and foremost. It's her very first thing. That she's a girl mom. She's a mom to all, loves food. She also is in business. See how she didn't put Plexus ambassador? You know, I'm a senior Ruby Plexus ambassador. Not saying you can't do that. I personally don't think that is the best way to go, because we want people to get to know you for you and start to trust you and, you know, connect with you authentically. And then because they trust you, they also want to know what you're doing when it comes to health and wellness and why Plexus is so important to you. I think sometimes if we put that in our bio, it will turn some people off. Some people have had bad experiences, whether it's they have something against MLMs or they have something against Plexus specifically. Most of the time, they're uninformed, right? We know that what we have to offer is amazing, but because some people have a connotation, you're going to turn some people off if you put that in your bio. And I honestly want to get to know somebody and not turn them off, before I've even had a chance to let them kind of into my life and who I am. So I don't put that there. But then let's see. So then you get to see that she's also into, fashion and makeup. Like she likes date nights, all of those fun things. So you're going to see some of that on her page. And then she puts the Enneagram 7. So if you relate to that, that's something that kind of sees right into something specific about her. And those that are into that, that's some things that she's going to be able to add value wise. So we were talking about adding value, that shows something very specific. So then you've got, I'll give you my what's going on my page, because I do it a little bit differently. So this will show you that there's not one right way to do it. And you get to, like I said, show some of your personality. So for me, I just put in one of my favorite scriptures. And then I say follow on Instagram, and I have my Instagram handle. So I have, in all your ways, acknowledge him and he shall direct your path. So I took a little bit more, simple approach, which is actually pretty funny. If you know our personalities, that's kind of how we are. Natalie has all the colors. I like how Becky said this earlier. I don't know if all of y'all saw this, but she says Natalie thinks in all the colors, and I'm kind of black and white. So you see that even just in our profile. And I think that's kind of shows you what this should look like. It should show your personality, and it's very quickly. So be intentional with your bio. Like Natalie said earlier, this doesn't have to be an overnight overhaul. Okay. So you can work on this. I would just, get your IPA done first. But if you have some time this week, that's your homework, is to go and make some edits to your bio, and you can kind of tweak it. And if you need to put it in I would encourage you to put your edits into our chat, and we can kind of, give our feedback if you are open to that. I know we did that last course, and it was really good. Some people were able to make just these little tiny changes that makes it eye-catching and makes it more your personality, and we would love to be able to help you with that. Natalie, can you think of anything else that goes with bio?
No, I think you covered pretty much most of it. And I love what Kristen said about people being able to know what to expect from you. Okay. So when they start following you and they become friends with you, they know exactly what to expect from you. So, like for me, you're going to see recipes. Well, I told you I'm a foodie. So you're going to see recipes. You're going to see really good food that I get on really good date nights. Okay. So like even tonight, if you have been around for a while, Tuesday night is my date night. Okay. So Tuesday night, date night, we're going to a new foodie place. I'm probably going to post pictures of the food, and I'm probably going to post pictures of my kids a lot. I told you I'm a girl mom. Okay. So you're going to know what to expect when you're friends with me on Facebook. Okay. When I start sharing about my business, you knew to expect that, because I told you I'm a boss mom. I love my business. I love my team, and I'm going to celebrate them hard. Okay. I love what she said about not adding the Plexus ambassador thing. Honestly, most people, like what Kristen was saying, some people have a connotation with it. most people don't necessarily care. Okay. Everybody has a side gig or main gig or whatever on social media at some point, but you will have your people that just, they don't want to follow you because a lot of people assume that that's all you're going to do. Okay. So make sure that I would keep that off. That's totally your call. I would keep it off too. So I agree with Kristen on that. As far as what to post and how to post it, moving forward, we're going to go into a lot of that more next week. But while you guys are kind of diving into this and getting used to this and switching up your bios, I wanted to give you some do's and don'ts to kind of follow, because I think these are going to really help make or break your posts, to be very honest. So I don't want to be like, just post some things until you learn how to post. And then you're like, well, that was a don't. Why didn't you tell me that? I've been doing that the whole time. So I wanted to give you some really clean, cut clear do's and don'ts of posting. Like Kristen said, as you're working on your bio, keep in mind, I'm always working on my bio. I'm always working on it. I'm still never done with it. I'll switch things up if I decide that there's something else that I want to start sharing, or I don't like the way I worded something or whatever. I'm constantly switching up my bio. So it's just never done. Okay. But if you want to drop it, everybody's in that social marketing class thread. We're going to start using that instead of the Grit and Grace group, just because some people, not everyone's taking the social media class. So I don't want to overwhelm them with a bunch of stuff. So let's keep everything social marketing class in that thread. So drop it in there. Or if you don't want to drop it in front of a bunch of people, you can just send it to Kristen or I, and we can kind of help you with that bio. All right. So the do's and don'ts, we're going to do these and then we're going to wrap this up. Don't share posts. Okay. There's something called an algorithm. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. The Facebook algorithm, it will be your enemy and it will be your best friend. I'm telling you, I'm sorry, there's an algorithm, but there is. And so we have ways that we can play with that algorithm so that our stuff is seen. So Facebook will basically decide who it shows your stuff to and who it doesn't. I know it's crazy. I know you think that all of your friends are seeing all of your stuff. That's not even the case, okay? Facebook is deciding how many people it's showing your stuff to. If you share way too much all the time and you're just constantly sharing something every 5 minutes on Facebook, it's going to stop showing your stuff because they assume you're a bot and they're assuming that you're scamming, okay? They will stop showing your stuff. If you are not sharing, if it's been a year since you've done anything on Facebook, Facebook's not going to show your stuff. They assume you're a dead account and they're not going to show your stuff to people. It's going to take a while for you to build that up. Good news is you can build it back up and you can change all of that. You just have to find ways to reel that in. So the big one is don't share, okay? When you share a post, that Facebook assumes you're a bot, okay? So bots share posts, okay? Bots share posts. They don't write posts. They don't write their own things, but they share posts. So every time you share a post, it actually flags that and it doesn't show, it's like a ding on your account. Okay. Think of your posting as almost like a credit score. Okay. And the lower your credit score, the less your stuff gets shown. Okay. So it's going to ding your Facebook credit score if you share stuff. That's anything. Even if you find a really cool meme on Facebook that you do want to share because you think it adds value, save that to your phone and then post it as your own post and write your own verbiage to go with it and why you thought that meme was funny or whatever, okay? Don't just share things on Facebook. That's a huge no-no. I'm telling you, I say there's a lot of things that aren't a hard and fast rule. This is one of them. Do not share posts, okay? Now, we are one Plexus, which means that we love to share with each other, okay? Anything I post, you are more than welcome to post that as well, but don't share it, okay? Make sure that you copy my verbiage. You can save the picture or do your own picture if, like, obviously you're gonna just, if I'm sharing like product information, I have a picture of me and my kids, doesn't make sense for you to post a picture of me and my kids. Post a picture of you and your kids and like the post about the kids stuff or whatever, you know, but post it as your own post, okay? You can say, if it's a testimony of mine, you can say, check out what my friend Natalie had to say about blah, 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 and then have my thing in quotes or whatever. So you can use what other people share for Plexus, okay? You are welcome to do that. Now, I say all that to say, please share your own authentic stuff more than you do that, but it is there for you to help. But don't share posts, okay? Don't hit the share button. Just become, you're not friends with that share button anymore, okay? You don't even see that share button anymore. That's not what we're doing, okay? I know, and I feel bad because I have a lot of people that are like, please share this because I'm entered in for a, and I'm like, this is my business. I'm not going to share it. I'm sorry. Like, this is my business and that clutters up everything. And so I will help you in other ways. Not going to share it. Okay.
Natalie, can I add something right there?
Yes.
On the opposite end, what you want to be doing, like we said, is adding value and making content that is shareable.
Mhm.
So on the opposite end, when your stuff gets shared, you get a credit. That goes, your account goes up. Facebook goes, whoa, she makes some really great content. I'm going to start showing it to more people. So just keep that in mind. The whole point is if you're just sharing other people's stuff, it's less likely to be shared again. Because like we were talking earlier, it looks more like graffiti and less like you've come up with something that's authentic to you. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah, that's really good. I said earlier, don't overpost. That's another don't. So don't share and don't overpost. Okay. The goal is 3 posts a day, 1 Plexus post and 2 personal posts. Okay. The next don't is don't puke Plexus. And that kind of ties in with this. Do not become a billboard for Plexus. Okay. This is not what we're trying to do. Plexus has their own page where they share Plexus all day long. Let them do that. Okay. You are marketing Plexus, but the way you do that is through people getting to know you. You're really marketing yourself, okay? And then when people trust you and they have a relationship with you, then they'll trust your product recommendations and what you do to stay healthy, okay? But this is more about you. So you're not puking Plexus all over the place, okay? In fact, I, as a general rule, keep the word Plexus pretty well off my page, okay, for the most part. I want people to talk to me so that I can help them find products that are good for them, that are customized to their goals so that they get the best, success out of their products instead of me just saying Plexus and then they run and they just order whatever they want. A, you don't get credit for that. And B, they might have ordered something that wasn't fit for their goals. Okay. So I want people to be able to come to me so I can talk to them and have that conversation with them because I want them to be successful. So do not be puking Plexus. Make sure that you are posting a lot about your own personal journey. Okay. The next one is, this is a tough one. Do not be overly controversial. Okay. And I know there's a lot of things that we can be controversial about right now. And you guys, I get it. I'm very passionate about a lot of what's going on right now. Okay, I am, but I have other ways that I can get involved instead of just shouting things on Facebook. Most people already have their minds made up about the controversial stuff, and you shouting things on Facebook is not going to change everybody's mind. Okay, I'm just giving it to you like it is. So you being controversial, right? If you're in a store and all of a sudden they get involved in a controversial matter, they just lost 50% of their customer base, right? So just keep things. You will not see me talking controversial stuff on my social media. Okay. I have ways that I do get involved with organizations and things that are near and dear to my heart outside of my social media, because I know that's not making a difference anyways. If there's a way to donate on social media, that's fine. But as far as just showing, throwing stuff up here just to create a debate, keep that off your social media. That is not how you market. Okay. Remember, this is your storefront. If you are passionate about something, find a way to get involved outside that's actually going to make a difference. Okay. There's my little soapbox for a second.
Natalie, that and the way people change is through relationship. So you don't want to turn people off from your post. I mean, you get into a relationship with people, and that's when you can start having those real conversations.
Exactly. I love that. That's so good. Yeah, that's key. I mean, if you have a relation, people aren't going to necessarily listen to what you have to say unless you have a relationship with them anyways. So I love that. Yeah, that was good. Don't be vulgar. Okay. Keep inappropriate and cuss words and all that. Just keep that off your page. Okay. We are professionals. Keep it professional, keep it clean. Don't be vulgar. All right. If that's where you're at, that's totally fine. Keep it somewhere else. Your Facebook and your Instagram is not the place for that. This is your professional storefront, so keep things professional, okay? Don't post and run. And this is a big one, you guys. This is actually big on the algorithm. When you do put up your post, people are going to be commenting on it. You can't just post and run and just like go check on it again 2 hours later. When you're posting, you need to be, every time someone comments on it, you need to be commenting back right away, at least for the first 30 minutes, okay? You want to get engagement on that post. We do have something called the Post Bumpers Chat. If you're not in there, let us know and we can add you if you want to be added. That's basically when you have posted something on your Facebook, you can go in and say, hey, I just posted, and then you comment on the 3 people above you. All right. So that way, as people are putting their posts up, they're coming in and commenting on yours too. So it's just a way to help boost your post. As a general rule, you need to have comments on your post within the first few minutes for Facebook to keep showing it to more people. Okay, so the way it works is you have your like, your OG friend. Like I know my mom and Kristen and David. I can always count on these three to comment on my posts, right? So if they don't reach my mom or Kristen or David, even Facebook's like, wow, that had nothing to add to anybody. We ain't gonna show that to nobody. But say like, Kristen comes in and comments on it, and then my mom comments, it's like, okay, the OGs like it. Let's go to the friends out here a little bit more. Now I've got, my friend Amber is going to come comment on it, and my brother might comment. Well, my brother doesn't comment on anything, it's not on Facebook, but you know what I mean? Like a few more people, and then it's going to show it to even more. So the more people that are commenting on it, the more it's going to expand the audience that it shows it to. So that's why it's good to make sure that you are getting comments on those posts. I say this, however, to say, don't just comment or don't just count on that post bumpers chat to do all of your bumps for you. I'm in a place now where I would much rather have one really authentic organic comment than 10 Plexus people commenting on it just to boost it, because now that shows Facebook, oh, well, it's just Plexus people that like to see their posts. So that's all I'm going to show it to, right? The algorithm is a tricky thing, and we're going to teach you how to get around it, okay? But you want to be posting authentically. And so make sure that you're not just posting and running. Make sure that you post, comment as people are commenting back, but then also after you post, go through and comment on a few other people's comments, because that's going to show Facebook that you're engaged and you're online, and it's going to start showing your stuff more. Okay, so they will show more of your stuff if you're commenting on other people's stuff too. So make sure, especially your potentials, make sure you're commenting on their stuff. Like, oh my gosh, your kid's in soccer, how long have they been playing? Like asking questions like that and just developing those relationships. All right, sorry, we're running a little bit over, but we started late. A couple more. Do post personally, okay? People love you, they trust you, and they want to have a relationship with you, okay? A Facebook relationship. People want to get to know you, okay? So make sure that you're posting personally. And I don't mean like posting your dirty laundry or anything like that, but allow them into your life a little bit, okay? This is a good place for them to get to know you and get to trust you. And the way that they do that is if you open them up to your life a little bit, okay? If you're getting ready to move, say that. Man, I'm moving and this is so crazy, and packing and whatnot. Like anyone else like really hate moving or what, like allow them into your life and post personally. You want to post personally more than you post about Plexus. And I would even dare say, when you're posting Plexus, make it personal. Post personally as much as you can. It's fine to share memes and share inspirational stuff or whatever, but most of the time people don't care about that. They care about you and what you're up to and what you're doing. Even if you think you're boring as all get out, I promise you people are watching you. I'm telling you, I've had people that I've watched I stick with them because they show what their kids eat for lunch every day, okay? I follow them because I need new lunch ideas for my kids. It's boring as all get out, but you know what? I follow everything they have to say. So allow people into your lives, okay? Do remove the tags, okay? We talked about that. If people are tagging you in something, remove those tags. Not only that you have to remove the tag, just remove it from your timeline so that it cleans up your page, okay? You don't need a bunch of people tagging you in things. Like I know my mom said earlier, people are constantly tagging them in recipes. Just remove that off your timeline, okay? That's totally fine. Stay consistent, okay? Do stay consistent. You want to be posting every day. You want to show up every day. If people are constantly coming to your store and you haven't been open for 3 days, they're going to stop coming to your store, okay? Stay consistent on your page. That does not mean it has to be this big, old, huge, awesome, inspirational, give it to them post every single day. It can literally just be as simple as you can be like, just go live and talk to people about what you're doing today, or a field trip you went on last week or something while you're mixing up your slim. You guys, that's a Plexus post. That's staying consistent every day, okay? Get creative with it. If you're just talking about one post one day was like, I cracked myself up at how many beverages I carry around. I've got my water, my coffee, my slim, and I was like, hilarious that I've just become this girl that just carries beverages all around. That's a Plexus post. Like, be creative with it and just make it a part of your life, okay? But be consistent. Here's the thing. You stop showing up, people assume it wasn't that good to begin with, okay? You stop showing up, people assume that what you were talking about doesn't have any value because you don't care enough to keep showing up for it. You stop following up with people, it's the same exact thing. People will just assume that it must not have been that good to begin with, okay? So if you really care about people and you really feel like this is going to help them and you really believe in the products, stay consistent and show up every single day. The last thing is do comment a lot, okay? The more that you are commenting on people's posts, the more Facebook is going to show your stuff to other people. You cannot just post and not do anything else on Facebook. You've got to be commenting, and don't just comment. And I'm going to actually comment on the 3 people above you in the post bumpers, and then don't comment on anyone else's Plexus post, because then Facebook's going to say they just want to talk to Plexus people. So that's all I'm going to show them. Okay. Don't do that. Comment on the few above you in the post bumpers, or comment on a couple of your teammates to help boost theirs, but then comment on other people's posts, comment on potentials, comment on people that you're talking to, comment on people that you are, helping them, you're creating relationships with them. Okay. So I'll go through, and I have my potentials list. I've got a list of 25 to 50 potentials at any given time. And every day I'm going in and commenting on their posts, because I want them to see mine, and I want to see more of them, because I actually do want to have a relationship with them. Okay. My goal is not a transaction. My goal is a transformation. Okay. I want to help these people transform their lives, whether it's in their health, their finances, or other. Okay. So because my goal is transformation, I can only do that if we have some sort of relationship and if we have mutual trust. And so I'm not looking for just a quick sale. I want to create a relationship with these people so that we can trust each other, so that we can work together. Okay. Because I do want to help them make changes. So comment a lot, comment on a lot of people's stuff. Ask questions too when you're commenting. Don't just throw a comment like, so cute, whatever. That doesn't help anything. Ask a question like, oh my gosh, that shirt is adorable. Where did you get that shirt? And if you ask a question and then they respond to that, Facebook says, okay, they're friends. They need to see more of each other's stuff. Okay. So the algorithm's a tricky thing, but I promise we're going to show you how to work on that. So that's pretty much what we had for today. Kristen, anything you wanted to add before we close up?
The only thing that came to mind is, and this is a shift that you'll make as you continue to grow your business, but like Natalie was saying, whenever you are commenting on these other people and you're building these relationships, realize that you are just as much trying to get to know people to see if they're going to be a good fit in your business as you are trying to get a sale. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is a process of finding your people. Okay. So it's not about like, oh, I'm going to comment so that I can eventually make a sale with this person. No, it's like, I want to get to know this person. Is this a person that I would want to sit on the beaches of Hawaii with one day? And as you learn relationship with those people, that's when you're going to start finding the real people that you want to run and go after this business with. So keep that in mind. You are truly, it's almost like an interview process the other direction, right? So even when you're doing your messages, come with that confidence. You have something of value to offer, and you're just as much looking for those people that are going to join you, as you are trying to see who's interested in these products and who you can sell to, and increase your sales for that month, right? So just keep that in mind. That came to mind when she was talking about that.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, because you want to find your people. Like she said, you got to be on the beaches of Hawaii with these people. You want to actually enjoy their company and have relationships with them, right? So if they do join your team and decide to run with it and decide to start sharing, you're going to be doing events together. You're going to be doing life together. So you want to make sure that these are people that you enjoy being around. Okay, that your values match up, that you guys can work together well. So love that. That was good. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop the recording here. Next week, this week, work on your bio, okay? So make sure that you're focused on that. Next week, same time, noon on Tuesday. And like I said, as of next Tuesday, that's going to be the last day that anybody can add to the group, but they need to watch this one first, okay, before they get added to the group. So check with your team. See if anybody wants to join in for this quarter. Otherwise, they can go ahead and start in the next one, which starts in July. So I'm going to take Q&A just after I stop this recording. All right. So y'all have a great week.